Good morning, everybody. Let's get this show started in here. Let's wake up in the room and get ready for a good day. And glad to be here with y'all. And I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. Anybody here from New Orleans, Louisiana? Or has been to New Orleans? Man, it's one of the greatest cities in the world. You got to come visit. You got to come visit me. I happen to own one of the most famous liquor stores in the world. We're the only liquor store in the world. And don't laugh. We have a wedding chapel in it. A wedding chapel. We actually have weddings inside of a liquor store. You got to come visit us and enjoy New Orleans and come visit the culture and the food and the seafood we have down there. And it's a great place to party. And you got to come visit Chuck when you're there. But we're not here today to talk about Chuck's on the Avenue. We're here to talk about you. What do you want to do in life? Do you have goals in life? Are you ready to achieve them goals in life? And I'm here today to talk to you about it, to help you get thinking again, get that common sense thinking, get the common sense thinking going. How do I get to my goals and achieve my goals in life? And I'm going to tell you a few stories. And you don't want to hear many stories about me. I want to hear more stories about you out there. But I'll tell you some stories about me. Stories about me is how I got to where I am. I'm uneducated. I barely got through high school. Went to a Catholic high school in New Orleans, of course, in the Ninth Ward, in a bad area, but a Catholic, high school is very, very known, Holy Cross. And I learned a lot of things there, not necessarily schooling, but I learned from the hard knocks in life, which is the real school I went to. Hard knocks in life, get knocked down all the time, and have to get back up. It all started in my high school years, learning the hard way. But my father, back in 1968. When I was 5 years old, used to take me to these Holy Cross football games at City Park Avenue, and I'd go there, and these football players at the time, and I thought we were huge football players. I was 5 years old, and they were in high school, and I'd hear the fight song come on. It was like Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish fight song. Except it was Oh Holy Cross, give us a victory, give us a loss, a little different fight song, but the same fight song as the Irish and Notre Dame. And I hear them coming out that tunnel, and I was so impressed with that school and hearing that fight song and seeing everybody cheer for them kids coming out the tunnel. It's like I was telling my dad, like, Dad, one day I want to play football for Holy Cross. Little be known at the time, I was going to be a small kid and slow kid, and not a very intelligent kid. But, I learned to overcome them obstacles in life. And you can overcome them too out there. You can overcome anything in life you want to overcome. You just need to put your mind to it and have goals. Remember, the goals are very important. When I first got accepted to Holy Cross in 5th grade, I was surprised they even accepted me because I wasn't the most intelligent kid in the world, and usually only intelligent kids went there. But I think they accepted me because I had an older brother that was there, who was very intelligent. So I guess they figured, hey, we'll give this young kid a shot, even though he's not the smartest guy in a room. So anyway, I made it there in 5th grade, and by 8th grade, I wanted to go out for the football team, and I went out. The coach laughed at me. He said, "Son, you're too small. You're too short. You're too slow. Get out of here. Go home. Go home until you grow up." So I went home. I pouted. Of course, I pouted, and I was like, "Hey, man, I need to make this football team one day. What am I going to do about this? What you going to do about it?" So I started writing down my goals. I need to get faster. I need to get stronger. I need to get taller. Unfortunately, that's God. You can't make yourself taller. You could try, but that's in God's hands. So unfortunately, I never was a tall guy. But so the coach threw me off the team. He told me I wasn't big enough, fast enough. He lost his job the year after. I don't know if it was by God's from my prayers and that, or what it was from, but he lost his job, and a new coach came in, and the new coach went to him and said, "Coach, look, I know I'm small, I know I'm slow, but all I want to do is play football for Holy Cross." And I didn't know what he meant at the time. He said, "Son, I don't cut nobody. They cut themselves." Didn't know what that meant. They cut themselves. Okay. So anyway, I went home, and I'd go to church every day during lunchtime where everybody else was playing out in the field, praying that I can make this football team, praying I can make it, praying I can get faster, get stronger, or some type of way to make this team. I should have been praying about grades because I wasn't the best in school, but instead I was praying about football. And so I finally went out my end of my freshman year. I was a little bit bigger, but I was still slow, not much bigger, a little bit stronger. I was running every day, working out with the weights every day, trying to get strong. That's when Rocky came out. I was pushing cars and that, trying to be like Rocky, running steps as fast as I could and trying to get stronger, running gym steps, running the Chalmette Monument steps. And I'd go to the gym every day, working out, trying to be strong. And went out there, and, I didn't realize I was in a whole different league with high school kids and a lot bigger than me, a lot tougher than me, a lot taller than me, and went out there and got my butt kicked quite a few times, but I wouldn't give up. A lot of people would quit. They quit because they couldn't take the heat. And what the coach meant by you cut yourself, he'd beat us down. He wouldn't let us off that field till we bleed. Everybody would have blood on him, and he'd beat you down. He'd make you run until you want to pass out. And I didn't realize what he was doing at the time, but he was trying. It wasn't about football. He was teaching us about life. That if you can't give up. If you really want something bad enough, you cannot give up. You got to have a goal. You got to stick to the goal and stick to your dreams. If you don't stick to your dreams, it's over with. Okay? Once you give up on a dream, it's over with. And today in life, as you realize, anything you dream about is possible. AI is possible. Who would ever thought AI? Cell phones. Who would ever thought you could carry a computer in your pocket? These guys who did these fantastic things and technologies didn't give up on their dreams. They knew it was possible. Things that we thought about in the 60s and 70s would have never thought would actually come to reality. We'd see it on TV, but we didn't think it would be reality. We kind of laugh about it. But then people who stuck to their dreams and their goals made these realities happen. And that's what you got to do. You have to stick to your dreams. Every day, you have to write down your goals on a piece of paper. And what you do is you cross them out as you go. It gives you self-accomplishment. It gives you a goal. It gives you a self-esteem and self-accomplishment every day. Even if you go to the gym, I'll go to the gym, mark it down. I went to the gym, got that out the way, pray, mark it down. Today I got to go to the bank, mark it down. Today I got to make this sales call. Today I go to this meeting, another sales call. And you mark it down and try to accomplish everything that day. It gives you a sense of accomplishment and self-esteem that you're going to do a great job. And if you do that every day, you're never going to give up. You cannot give up because life's too short. You got to enjoy your life and do what you love. Make things happen. Every day, make things happen. That little guy went to the Holy Cross. He made it happen. He went and prayed every day, and he made it happen. There was two guys in front of him on the football team. The coach kept putting him third string because he was small and slow. But one game was coming up. The first string guy got hurt. Unfortunately, the second string guy's dad and father died that day. So they only had that little guy. That little short guy was too slow and too weak to play. They had to put him in a game. And his heart determination was so strong, and his goal determinations, that he stuck to them goals every day, praying and weightlifting and running. He wound up performing so well in that game, he wound up becoming a starter. Even being the shortest guy in the league, being the slowest guy in the league, he became a starter because he didn't give up. He was making every tackle in every game. And that's what life's about, making every tackle every day. So when I was a policeman, I always wanted to be a businessman, but I was a policeman before that. I was an undercover narcotics agent, and I'd go to schools and undercover high schools. I was undercover in high school. I was 21, and I'd have to tell those kids I was 18, and they would say, hey, you're not 18, you're 16. So I said, okay, I'm 16. So it wasn't about putting these kids in jail. It was about having a goal to help these kids to not die from drugs and stuff, having a goal to accomplish something that you're helping people, not hurting people. And the same thing with business. You're helping people. You don't want to hurt people. You always want to have integrity. You always want to teach people what you know. If they try to steal your ideas, so what? God or whoever, you're going to prevail because you're the bigger person. So keep your goals, write them down every day, and stick to them goals, okay? Stick to them goals, and I can tell you many stories about ups and downs in life. I built an ATM machine from one machine to 600 machines, okay? And I stuck to goal. Every day I'd go out there, sales calls, and I was on a police department. I had 3 different jobs. I'd go out there every day trying to sell machines, and I'd tell myself I'm not going home until I get a contract, make money. So every day I'd make sure I get an ATM contract. When I was in a real estate business, so I'd get a real estate contract. I'd still do my 8-hour duty on the police department. I refused to come home unless I accomplished that goal that day, made some type of sale. I knew I had my wife, my kids were dependent on me, so I knew that in order to be a successful father, I had to do what I had to do, not come home until I accomplished that goal every day. You have to do the same. You have to write it down on a piece of paper. Make sure you accomplish them. I know you have phones now and stuff, but the old way is a good way. The old way, because you see it, you don't have to click and people are calling you. You see it. You see it on a piece of paper. You see it, it's written down, you check it off as you go, okay? And we're gonna talk more about goals and more about success in life. But right now, I just wanted to tell you, everybody, hello in this audience. I'm glad to be here with y'all and glad to teach y'all and answer any questions, anything you might have. See you later. See you soon. Thank y'all.